hope I inspire little girls everywhere to marry for money. Oh, that's so sweet. Every time I look at my husband, I'm reminded of the Slovenian national dish. a fat, greasy sausage filled with cheese. I once caught Mike Pence trying on my stilettos. Well, my Secret Service codename is that poor, poor woman.
Donald Trump just went full nuclear again. Why? Because Bill Maher decided to play marriage counselor on live TV with Trump's secrets. Yep, Maher lit up Trump's love life like it was the 4th of July at Mar-a-Lago. And let's just say, Melania probably packed another suitcase. Trump's wig almost filed for divorce. This roast was so brutal, even Fox News blinked. Buckle up, because what Maher revealed will have you questioning everything about the art of the marriage.
Melania, the world needs you. President Hellboy has proved to be impervious to facts, reason, shame, and the law. But maybe if you left him for another man, especially if that man was Mexican, maybe he would implode on his own. Maybe it falls to you now, Melania. You can end this reign of terror, and all you have to do is channel your inner Taylor Swift and walk out the door.
Donald Trump just did what Donald Trump does best: detonate like a microwave burrito the second someone mentions his marriage. And the trigger? Bill Maher. Yes, the man who looks like he's permanently stuck in a sarcastic smirk cracked open Trump's marital vault like a piñata at a billionaire divorce party. And oh boy, candy didn't fall out, but a whole lot of awkwardness did. There are volcanic eruptions, and then there's a Trump tantrum on live TV. A Category 5, golf course shaking, double cheeseburger-fueled meltdown that could probably be measured on the Richter scale. And the cause this time? Not global politics, not inflation, not a courtroom he wandered into by mistake. No, it was Bill Maher daring to open his mouth and utter what every sentient creature from New York to Neptune has already been thinking: that the Trump marriage has all the warmth and passion of a frozen meatloaf in a gilded microwave.
Sometimes when I bounce light off my diamond, Donald's hair will chase it like a cat. I wish I knew why I have a recurring dream I'm pinned beneath a giant orange sack of shit. And if I could tell my younger self just one thing, it would be this: if you catch a leprechaun and he gives you one wish, be more specific.
Maher didn't even go full roast. He just gently peeled back the heavily spray-tanned curtain and suggested, brace yourself, that Melania may not be in it for true love, candlelit dinners, or spontaneous walks down the Mar-a-Lago beach. Trump responded like someone had called his golf swing ugly. Immediate chaos. If emotional outbursts were an Olympic sport, Trump just secured a gold medal while wearing a red tie longer than his list of indictments. Because if there's one thing Trump hates more than salad, or facts, or being out of the spotlight for 5 consecutive minutes, it's being exposed. Especially by someone whose job title involves making people laugh, not bowing down to orange royalty. And when that comedian just so happens to surgically poke the overinflated beach ball that is Trump's ego with a single joke, oh, it's Defcon meltdown.
He also once accepted Jesus Christ as his personal Lord and Tailor. Did that for you. Trump has nothing in common with Jesus, who was from the Middle East. Trump wouldn't even let him in the country. Jesus healed the blind. Trump mocks the handicapped. Jesus turned the other cheek. Trump grabs your pussy. Jesus turned water into wine. Trump just whines. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife." Trump says, "Fine, what about my daughter?"
Trump didn't just spiral, he somersaulted down a rage escalator while clutching his phone like a security blanket. The man responded with the kind of fury usually reserved for hotel staff who forget to fluff his pillow. Even his most loyal supporters, the ones who would normally defend him if he declared war on gravity, paused for a second like, wait, did Bill Maher just break him? The answer? Yes. With one sentence and zero effort, Maher turned Trump into a glitchy parody of his own tantrum. Of course, Trump being Trump, he didn't just deny it, he launched a full-blown emotional Super Bowl halftime show. Forget a simple, "That's not true." No, this man broke the emergency glass on his ego and declared war on reality. Out came the press releases written in crayon and rage, the 3 a.m. truth bombs dropped like clockwork, and rumors of a surprise comeback from an ancient BlackBerry he swears never betrayed him like Mike Pence. Suddenly, it wasn't just about love. It was a multimedia performance art piece starring him, Melania's silence, and a fresh batch of golden NFTs no one asked for. Each outburst somehow managed to scream, "My marriage is strong. She totally lives in the same state as me. And by the way, did I mention my limited edition digital trading cards are still available?" It was less a rebuttal and more of a cry for help, with merch.
Yes, you despise his creepy little monkey fingers touching your hand. So kick him to the curb. Slap away that hand for good. No more public embarrassment. No more porn stars. No more stealing your makeup. Toss his boxy clown suits on the front lawn. Just tell him, "I'm leaving you and I'm taking our child." He would be stunned. We have a child?
The problem? The harder he pushed the narrative, the more he confirmed exactly what Maher implied, that their relationship isn't a marriage, it's a business merger, one with less chemistry than a soggy QVC segment. Every time Melania smiles in public, you can almost hear the sound of a check clearing, and when she holds his hand, it's with the delicacy of someone passing a live grenade. And then, right on cue, came the signature Trump Deflection special. When in doubt, crank up the volume, add pyrotechnics, and scream something so wildly off-topic that even your followers need a decoder ring. 1 minute he's denying marital dysfunction, the next he's ranting about how windmills are secretly causing cancer and stealing golf balls. At one point, he even floated the idea that if you rearrange the letters in Bill Maher, you get Hebrew Llama, which he claimed was some kind of Illuminati code. His metaphors got so twisted, it sounded like he was giving a TED Talk on conspiracy theories while trapped in a tanning bed. There was something about sharks, hurricanes, Hillary's emails, and a suspiciously long pause to mention how great his steak business used to be. Somehow, this wasn't damage control. It was performance art, a chaotic, delusional one-man show that made the marriage rumors look like the same part.
Thing that moved, but Rupert's fucking the whole planet. The axis of evil in the world now is Trump and Fox News. We have a government propaganda channel now. It's impossible to even tell who's wearing the head in this horse costume. Trump hears some demonstrably false nonsense from some crank guest on Fox and tweets it out as fact. Or he gets a brain fart and belches it out at a rally, and Fox backs that up. They're on this insane feedback loop. They're like that couple that keeps giving each other herpes. So, girls, you gotta step up. We have tried everything, but the more we resist these two menaces, the stronger they get. They're like the Night King in Game of Thrones. Only instead of commanding an army of brain-dead zombies, okay, they're exactly like the Night King.
While Trump was rage-tweeting into the void, Elon Musk decided to enter the chat. Because of course he did. Nothing gets Musk going like someone else hogging the chaos spotlight. In a masterstroke of missing the moment, he chose this week to unveil a new Twitter feature, letting users vote on which journalists should get digitally yeeted off the platform. You know, because freedom of speech means turning public discourse into a gladiator-style death match run by a billionaire with a hero complex and a burner account. Musk strutted into the scene like he was about to drop the hottest innovation since Tesla's self-immolating steering wheel, only to get metaphorically curb-stomped by public opinion. Again, you could practically hear his internal circuit sputtering as he tried to spin censorship as a form of liberation. Somewhere, George Orwell rolled over and demanded royalties.
And finally, new rule, Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. So far, over a dozen Republican candidates tried to stop Trump and couldn't. Hillary couldn't. Never Trumpers couldn't. Mueller couldn't. Is there anyone left who can check Donald Trump? Yes, Melania. It's not anti-feminist to say that in addition to doing everything men can do intellectually, women also have another power, the power of the ultimatum. Getting men to change their destructive ways by threatening to leave them, humiliate them, or cut them off in bed. It's a tale as old as time.
But back to Trump's spiraling PR circus, which at this point had more clowns than coherence. Reports started rolling in that Melania hadn't been seen in public for what felt like an entire lunar cycle. And with Trump flailing like a confused flamingo in a wind tunnel, the internet did what it does best: theorize wildly. Some claimed she had returned to Slovenia and was nesting in a Gucci-fortified bunker powered by passive-aggressive silence and spa vouchers. Others insisted she was simply playing a high-stakes game of how far can I socially distance without leaving Earth. Paparazzi circled Trump Tower like vultures looking for a sign, a curtain twitch, a shadow, a strategically flung stiletto. Nothing. Nada. Just Trump shouting into microphones while Melania pulled the greatest disappearing act since Houdini. Honestly, at this point, people were more likely to spot Bigfoot having brunch with Elvis than Melania willingly standing next to her husband during one of his public implosions.
Melania Trump has been in the news a lot lately. I was talking about her in the monologue, and she's on the cover of Us Weekly with this cover, my side of the story. But they left out my favorite feature in Us Weekly, which is the 25 things you don't know about me. Do you read about this? All the stars do it. Tim Gunn has done it. You have his. He'll be out here in a minute. And I did it. It's practically a rite of passage. You have mine. There you go. And we got a hold of Melania's. It's not in this magazine, but it's coming out soon. Would you like to hear Melania's 25 things you didn't know about? Okay. 25 things you didn't know about Melania. In Slovenia, I was a catalog model, which is what you call a model you order out of a catalog. I have no first language.
In response, Trump tried to prove everything was fine by releasing the most awkward, hostage situation-style couples photo in recent memory. Him grinning like he just bought Greenland, her looking like she was being forced to pose next to a sentient MAGA hat. The whole thing screamed, everything is fine, in the way a burning building screams, just a minor inconvenience. And if you thought, even for a fleeting second, that Trump might use this golden opportunity to pause, self-reflect, or maybe crack open a book that isn't about himself, oh, sweet summer child. Of course not. This man wouldn't recognize emotional growth if it sat on his lap wearing a MAGA hat. Instead, he went full thermonuclear delusion. First, he doubled down, then tripled, then performed an interpretive dance of denial so intense you'd think he was auditioning for Dancing with the Scars. Next thing you know, he's in the metaphorical basement of Mar-a-Lago, shirtless, digging his own PR grave with a gold-plated shovel while shouting about fake news, loyalty, and how Melania definitely smiled once in 2007. So everything's fine. Therapy ? Nah. Just more yelling and merch. He trotted out the usual talking heads to defend the sacred union of Donald and Melania. You know, the ones who treat every Trump family photo like it belongs in a fairy tale, if that fairy tale was written by a lobbyist with a Twitter addiction. They swore everything was peachy, which of course made everyone assume the opposite.
Now, I know I'm probably dreaming and Melania isn't going to do any of this, but what if she had someone to do it with? Divorce is always easier in pairs. What if you had a buddy, Melania? Because there's another former model who's also married to a super-rich Republican monster, Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, Jerry Hall. And you two have a lot in common.
Meanwhile, Bill Maher sipped his tea, probably organic, smugly brewed, and watched the internet combust. He didn't need to say much. The Trump machine was doing all the talking for him. Because when you poke the bear and the bear responds by setting itself on fire, sometimes the best thing to do is sit back and enjoy the heat. And the Trump camp bless their delusional little hearts, did not disappoint. In a last-ditch Hail Mary thrown from the 50-yard line of denial, they began pumping out videos so strange they made late-night infomercials look like Oscar contenders. One clip had Trump strolling through a golf course, holding hands with what appeared to be a life-sized cardboard Melania, complete with duct-taped heels and a frozen smile. Another featured him giving a fiery sermon on loyalty while a bald eagle flew off screen in what looked like sheer embarrassment. And yes, he dusted off the Bible again, holding it like it was a cursed artifact from Indiana Jones. Somewhere, a confused Sunday school teacher screamed, "When your attempt at spiritual sincerity feels like a deleted scene from a Nicolas Cage movie, you know the campaign's running on fumes and ego." The irony here is delicious. Trump, a man who once boasted about his love life like a 1970s lounge singer, suddenly failed to prove that his marriage isn't held together by a mutual fear of prenups. Watching him fight back against Maher's commentary is like watching a soap opera villain try to win an Emmy. It's dramatic, over the top, and oddly mesmerizing. And let's not forget the internet's role in this glorious mess. Twitter lit up like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Memes flew, hashtags trended, and conspiracy theorists popped out of the woodwork with charts, arrows, and grainy photos of Melania blinking in Morse code. At least 3 YouTubers uploaded videos titled "Proof Melania has been replaced by AI." And honestly, no one was entirely sure if they were joking. Meanwhile, back in Realityville, Trump continued his greatest hits tour of public denial, self-pity, and the occasional gibberish rant about how he's the most persecuted man since Jesus. His campaign team, bless them, tried to focus on the issues, by which I mean yelling "witch hunt" while handing out red hats like they're Oprah with a vendetta. And what about Melania? Still silent. Her response to the firestorm was peak Melania, stoic, unreadable, and possibly generated by an algorithm trained on passive-aggressive glances. She didn't release a statement. She didn't show up in public. She didn't blink a distress signal. Just complete, glorious silence, the kind that screams louder than any press release ever could. Some say silence is golden. In this case, it's a tactical nuke, because the more she says nothing, the louder the speculation gets. Is she mad? Is she gone? Is she just counting down the days until the prenup clause kicks in? The mystery deepens, and Trump's hairline recedes in direct correlation. And then came the interviews. Trump sat down with a friendly media outlet, you know, the one where the questions are softer than the pillows at Mar-a-Lago, and tried to reassure the nation that his marriage was tremendous. The word tremendous did a lot of heavy lifting that day. He spoke with the confidence of a man who truly believes waving at a cardboard cutout counts as quality time. But no amount of interviews, tweets, or carefully staged photo ops could put the genie back in the bottle, because Bill Maher had already opened the floodgates, and all it took was one offhand comment to reduce a billion-dollar brand to a punchline. And the beautiful, poetic kicker? While Trump was mid-meltdown, Elon Musk was still trying to explain why his platform now required users to solve a riddle, climb a mountain, and beat a CAPTCHA boss just to post a meme. One billionaire was spiraling over his image. The other was rewriting internet logic like a Bond villain with a Wi-Fi router. Both men, rich beyond reason, exposed as thin-skinned chaos magnets completely incapable of handling public scrutiny without combusting. It's like watching a Greek tragedy if the Greeks had Twitter and really bad impulse control. And somewhere in the background, Bill Maher smirked. Not because he brought down a titan, but because the titan brought himself down. All it took was a spotlight and the truth, and suddenly the emperor's tuxedo looked more like a bathrobe. In the end, this saga isn't about marriage, it's about ego, image, and the ridiculous lengths powerful men will go to protect both. Trump wasn't defending love, he was defending the brand. And when the brand starts cracking under the weight of reality, all the gold-plated distractions in the world can't hold it together. So what did we learn? That marriages built on image can't withstand satire. That billionaires are just as emotionally fragile as your uncle who rage quits Facebook arguments. And most importantly, that sometimes all it takes is a joke on live TV to peel back the glitter and expose the circus.